Over the last few days, we've been watching Justinian absolutely dominate the rally scene in Rise of Kingdoms. So in this video, I'm going to go over a series of reports, both from some testing and also some past rallies. So get out your popcorn, kick back, and let's review these crazy results. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and it has been crazy seeing the work that Justinian does in the battlefield, specifically for rallies. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, you probably saw that the moment Justinian landed in game, we had players in our alliance max him, and I live streamed rally testing. And if that's the sort of thing you like to watch, consider subscribing to the channel so you can see exactly how brand new commanders perform the exact moment that they land in game. But before I talk about his performance, I will say that it is really important to know how a commander is going to do, and you generally don't want to be the first one to max a commander, because although Justinian is really strong, and recently commanders have been pretty good, there are some commanders that have completely flopped, like Moctezuma was a complete flop, like Suleiman, who was a complete flop. So every now and then, a new commander shows up that really doesn't deliver on the promise. But Justinian is not one of those commanders. He freaking slays. So in this video, I want to share with you a couple things. First of all, we're going to go over his skills to refresh ourselves on like, hey, why does he work so well? Then we'll go and get a look at some test results that we did. And then I'll go and talk about these past rallies that were really crazy. Some are single rallies, some are double rallies. So let's start by reviewing Justinian's skills, because they're a little bit complicated. In fact, I think this might be the longest skill description for an active skill in Rise of Kingdoms, or close to it. He does 2,500 damage factor, and if he's the leader of a rally, he'll reduce the defense of the target by 30%. Well, that's a nice effect. And if the target is surrounded, it counts as though there are 3 more surrounding troops when calculating the effects in the number of troops surrounding the target, okay? In addition, if the target is not surrounded, the number of troops surrounding it will be set at 3 for calculations, but the target will not actually be surrounded. That last bit, the target will not actually be surrounded, is a little confusing to me, because when a target is actually surrounded, you do more all damage to the target. It's 2% more all damage for each surrounding march. So I don't know if you actually get the all damage, but maybe we can peek at a few reports and figure that out. Now from here, the next skill. Cavalry units led by this commander gain 30% defense, 5% cavalry damage outside of territory, and 15% march speed outside of territory. Easy to understand, very good. From here, cavalry units led by this commander gain 20% health. Let me tell you, any commander with a bunch of health and a bunch of defense, you have to pay attention to. When attacking cities or strongholds, they also take 10% less normal attack damage. And lastly, cavalry units led by this commander deal 10% more attack, or have 10% more attack, and when their troop launches a normal attack while on the map, so you can't be in a resource node, but you can be in a rally, it has a 10% chance to deal additional damage to the target troop, damage factor of 80 times the number of surrounding troops, up to 5. And you see, this is where I think the active skill is sort of playing with this hero, where, hey, look, even if you haven't surrounded the target, it counts as if he's surrounded for this effect. And if you have surrounded him, you get more damage up to a total of 5 stacks. Okay, now that damage factor, 400 damage factor is fine, but it gets better with the expertise skill. Cavalry units led by this commander now have 15% attack, so you get 5% more attack. The chance of triggering the damage goes up from 10% to 30%, and the damage factor goes up by 20 times the number of surrounding troops. So this is 500 damage factor that triggers once every 8 or 9 seconds, because it is an internal cooldown of 5 seconds. So on average, perhaps every 8 or 9 seconds, you do the 500 damage factor and you enjoy the 15% attack. This ability does seem really strong, but with the internal cooldown, it's not as crazy as it initially seemed. Now, when we go to talk about these results, this is where it was actually pretty surprising, because Justinian was basically beating everything. I don't know yet if the answer is to use Nevsky as the primary or the secondary, but I can tell you this. Nevsky Justinian is amazing, and it is also possible that Huo with Justinian is amazing. Here you'll see a bunch of reports done in an Ark of Osiris practice match with meta equipment, the best equipment that you can use for both sides, and the results were pretty shocking. Dido with Hera against Nevsky Justinian, about 209,000 to 128,000 sevs. Very powerful win for the Cav rally. Again, we did it. 209,000 to 145,000. Big win for the cavalry. Now we switched it up to an infantry garrison. In this case, we did Zeno with Flavius. We did the Zeno. I feel like we could also have tested Flavius as the primary, and that would be very valuable. But we did Zeno with Flavius, and it's 225,000 to 161,000. So it's really strong results here. 218,000 to 161,000. So consistently getting these back-breaking results for the Nevsky-Justinian combo. From there, we did Zeno with Hera, which is actually, in my opinion, one of the worst Hera combos. And we did 232,000 to 160,000. So this is all very one-sided. We did it again, 238,000 to 146,000. So the Nevsky Justinian is looking really, really, really good. We used a Dido with Zhuge Liang, 208,000 to 140,000. By the way, there are no armaments in these tests in order to keep it fair. From here, we did a Dido with Zhuge Liang, 185,000 to 166,000. This was closer, but I feel like something went wrong in this particular test, perhaps. I don't quite remember. Maybe it just got close to winning. And then from here, we rallied into Jan Ziska with Hera, 147,000 to 248,000. Crazy result. And then Dido with Hera, 178,000 to 185,000. And that is a Justinian Bertrand rally, by the way. We literally had to switch it up to using Bert in order to make the result with Justinian bad enough such that another garrison could actually win. So Justinian is crazy. But I get that people want to see Justinian in like real situations. So the thing that happened in my restart account and my restart kingdom is that when our pass was taken, the kings of the kingdoms sort of got together and they said, hey, you know what? We haven't lost as many troops in this KVK as we'd like. We have people that need to drop power. What do you say we run some rallies on the pass? And I can show you the pass. I'll zoom out here. And there were a series of rallies that we got to run on the pass. They also let us double rally the pass. So some of the reports I'm going to show you are double rallies. Some are single rallies. But it was right over here. Holy markers. This is where that was happening. Right over here. All right. And I can show you these reports because Bladada sent me every single one. So I have them all. Again, keep in mind that some of these were multi-rallies, and I don't know which they were. But even still, it's cool to see, like, yeah, Justinian definitely is a strong part of a multi-rally. We've got a Nevsky Justinian here, 382,000 to 923,000 deads. Pretty brutal. In terms of the total power, also really crazy results. If we look at the next report, how did we do? I mean, spoiler alert, Justinian does well everywhere. XY with Justinian, just to kind of see, 340,000 to 1.3 million, almost 1.4 million. Keep in mind, this is not the actual garrison they used. I think they were using the Hera with YSS garrison. I don't think, especially because you see all these different troop types in here, maybe it started for a second with the wrong thing, but there's the YSS Hera. Yeah, I'm sure they got that sorted out. So pretty brutal report. And this is full gear, like full armaments, the whole 9 yards. From here, another XY Justinian report, 529,000 to 1.3 million. And there was apparently a Jan Ziska at some point. Interesting. The combined result here is really nutty. 678,000 dead to almost 2 million dead. So again, some of these are multi-rallies, right? Which like influences the result, but it's still really interesting to see, in my opinion, how crazy strong these multi-rallies are. And here is a Huo with Justinian. 726,000 to 1.4 million. Holy cow. Really crazy result here. Really, really crazy. And if we get a look, we've got 2 more reports, and then we'll kind of draw some conclusions here. Here's the Huo with Nevsky, 917,000 to 1.1 million. This was probably a single rally, if I had to guess. And the last result, boom, here it is. 1 million to 3 million. This is assuredly got to be a multi-rally against the Jan Zizka Hera, especially because this thing is equipped, right? Yes, it is equipped, although it looks like they're missing an iconic, which is kind of surprising. That is a little surprising. Okay, huh. Well, whoever was the captain there might not have had the best gear equipped. Interesting. They wanted to kill off their troops, so I suppose that makes some sense. And if we look at the troops that are in there, it does look like this is mostly cavalry, and it's not just like, okay, besides this person who thought sending their T1 siege was a good idea, it's mostly real troops in this garrison, which is pretty interesting. I mean, where am I at with this commander, Justinian? I think that Justinian is a very, very strong commander for rallying. And I think I'm pretty confident, although I can't say with absolute certainty, that Justinian has to be best paired with Nevsky when it comes to rallying. And on top of that, Justinian has the coolest active skill that I've seen in a while. I feel like it's second only to YSS in terms of how awesome it is, which, like, yeah, the anchor falling through the sky was cool, but also smacking people with your book knowledge is pretty funny. And if you want to see all of the testing that happened in a live stream, I'll have a card in the end screen in just a second. And if you're interested, let me know in the comments if you want to see Justinian testing for the open field. I do think he could be a strong player in the open field, but I don't think he's one of the very best commanders, but we'll have to test it and see exactly what we think. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.